Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our January series of Golden Exchange Hour brought to you by Malaysian Craft Council. For those who still don't know, what is MCC? MCC is a Malaysian Craft Council, a non-profit organization that advocates and accelerates the growth of the Malaysian craft industry, covering all craft categories such as batik, songket, tenun, silver, ceramic, embroidery, and all other craft segments. And it acts as a connecting platform for industry players, bringing Malaysian craft to the world via various collaborative projects with international organization or their affiliate networks. As a newly established organization, we welcome strategic partnership with other parties, be it from the government sector or private sector. And our vision is to be central advocating body of Malaysian craft, uniting people and communicating ideas for the entire ecosystem. And our mission is to make Malaysian craft world class through education, experience, and economic elevation. So that was a video by Pau Permatang Pau Women Project under Wabi Nurul Iza. Thank you so much for that. What a beautiful video made. And if you want to know more about MCC, please feel free to contact us through our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We are incredibly excited to have you on board. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, today is a special night, and we are so honored to have a panel to talk about Malaysian Craft Borneo today. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce our panel, Jennifer P. Linggi. Right. How are you, Jen?
Fine, fine. Thank you, Siti. Thank you
Okay.
for inviting me.
Yeah, you can call me Andy, my stage name, Che. Okay,
Okay,
let me introduce
okay,
Jennifer.
Andy.
Okay, Jennifer graduated as an architect from Oxford Brookes University, UK, and after working in London, Brunei, and Malaysia, she returned home to Sabah in 2004 to pursue her first love, which is art. As an artist, she was involved in many group exhibitions locally and internationally. As well as being an artist, she has been involved in the publication of four books, namely Urban Design Consideration for Sabah, which is in 2005, Sabah Crafts 2015, Flora and Fauna at the ACC Bank Negara Malaysia, which was published in 2016, and more recently the Kampung Legacy, a journal of North Borneo's traditional basket, which was published in 2017. Among her notable contributions are as the director of the Sabah Art Gallery, Kota Kinabalu, for 12 years, as an industry advisory panel for Cendana, Cultural Economy Development Agency, as well as an advisory panel for the Ethnography Museum, Geneva, Switzerland. And Jennifer continues to explore and research on culture through architecture, design, and art. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jennifer P. Linggi. How are you today? Sihat, ah?
Thank you, Andy. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, hi, everyone.
I'm so excited to have you tonight. And also, my name is Andy Siti. I forgot to mention that. I'm one of the ex-member of Malaysian Craft Council. And today's talk, Malaysian Borneo Craft. This is also my first day being a moderator for this Golden Exchange Hour. And we would like to welcome all of you who are watching today. And yeah, I think Jennifer will present a special segment today. Okay, so should we present the slide now, Jen? Would you like to say something?
Yes, maybe
Yeah,
before you start,
yeah, please.
yeah, I just want to say thank you to Malaysian Craft Council, and I can see you are also honoring the many of the people in the Craft Council who are batik makers.
Yeah,
You're wearing batik, I can
yeah,
see, and so am
yes,
I.
yeah. Oh,
This is a
nice.
batik design by a New York designer, apparently, in the 90s. That
Wow.
so I was very impressed with the way this is like a necklace. It's not part of my baju. It's a
Oh,
necklace.
nice.
So I thought, in honor of Nick, our chairman, and all those involved in the batik industry, we'll put this on because it's a beautiful craft.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
maybe we can go and go straight to the slides. We don't
Okay,
have much time.
right, sure. Okay.
Yeah, basically, just this is a slide that I normally take with me to any talks, a lot of talks about my research on traditional baskets. So this is the one that I'm very passionate about. It's part of my Kampung Legacy series. You can just keep playing, rolling it actually, Andy.
Yep.
Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to do it is I wanted to document traditional craft because we are losing a lot of the skills because a lot of traditional heritage skills were learned through word of mouth. Yeah, so it was never something that was ever written. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason why I felt the need to document them. And I noticed as well, if you look, all these were the crafters that I met. I took 10 years visiting all these people. That they are getting older. Those things are extinct. Both, I think these people are gone. A lot of them are gone. So this is my method of documenting, just looking at the process of how we make them, the material, and I documented the material, from beginning to end, kind of thing.
Right.
I decided that drawing was probably the
Mm-hmm.
best way to document everything because it made people see. So Long Pasir was the first place I went to. I spent nearly 10 days there where everybody was wearing bakul. Even boys were wearing carrying
Nice.
bakul, women and men.
Wow.
So it was very nice because I could see many of them just using, to the point where when I was using plastic bag after that, felt very strange.
Wow.
So the skill that you need to for craft is the skill one is skill of collecting raw material, which is very difficult. Bamboo and rattan are very difficult
Mm-hmm.
to collect. The second skill is the design and construction, which again everything is done in their head, nothing is drawn, so they
Right.
know the shape. The
Right.
third skill is creating the actual patterns on the baskets. So
Mm.
that too in itself is a skill. So these are the three skills you need to learn. So this one's just a quick slide as to how you collect, prepare the bamboo, cut the bamboo. Then they actually put the color using fingers. Still, 100 years, they're still using fingers. They don't use
Wow.
brush because they
Wow.
believe it's the best way. So
Right.
they paint on the bamboo. This one has got a mixture of commercial paint already. And imagine, then they have to split it. This is just a preparation of material, yeah,
I
and
see.
split, and then finally weave it. So of course we can see it in a matter of few seconds, but
Right.
yeah, when you think about the whole process. So that's the one of the beautiful baskets that are produced by the Murut. The
Mm.
Dusuns don't have very colorful baskets.
Mm.
Only the Murut seem to be Murut and Lundaya.
I see.
So the Lundaya, this is a rattan basket from Long Pasir.
I see.
Um, but a lot of what they do is still alive because they actually use their baskets on a daily basis, and they also use their baskets as a wedding gift. They use it as a wedding gift, yeah. So this was my method of documentation. I measure the baskets, I draw
Mm.
them based on dimensions, and they're all done at the same scale, 1 to 10.
Wow.
So if the baskets are extinct, if somebody wanted to revive it, then they can revive it because the dimensions are there, yeah. Because what you see now, 10 years from now, 90% what I've drawn will be extinct. This basket was used for keeping heads when the Lundaya used to cut heads, or the Murut used to, yeah, cut heads.
Headhunters. I
Yep.
see. Do they have baby carrier as well?
Yes, they do, but not as ornate as the Sarawak.
I
We
see.
don't come from that. We don't seem to have, yeah, a tradition of baby carriers yang special lah.
I see.
Just basic, yeah.
Okay. So this is kapal.
Yeah, and I saw these two ladies in Pinampang, which is just an urban, a suburban area in Sabah, which
Mm-hmm.
is so nice because they were just walking on the streets and they were using traditional basket. I was so happy.
Wow.
Yeah. So these,
They have different names, yeah?
yeah, I initially people just told me, oh, it's just called wakid or saging, only two basic names, or bakul. But
Mm.
everyone I meet, I would say, what's the name of your basket in your language?
Oh.
So this is the way how I would live with the people, or I would attend craft fairs, because when I was working for the Sabah government,
Mm-hmm.
it was harder for me to go and visit, when I was working full time. So I
Right.
meet these people in craft fairs.
I
So this
see.
is the murut basket. They still make them because they use them for wedding gifts
Mm-hmm.
as well. But thank goodness it's still they still use it a lot. Oh, sorry, there's a plane flying over
Like,
me right now, so you
okay.
can hear the sound. Yeah.
Fine.
So Lundaya and Murut basket, as you can see, are the most colorful. When you
Mm.
see a colorful basket, it's just Lundaya and Murut, because the
Right.
Dusuns don't have any
Okay.
colors in their basket. So that's the fast way you can distinguish
I see.
between the different ethnic groups. Just to let you know, Sabah has 35 ethnic groups and 217 sub-ethnic groups. So you
Wow.
can imagine, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So these are Dusun baskets. They're more basic. Colors are just natural color. They don't have any
Oh,
um,
second.
patterns on them.
Oh,
So when I did my
second.
certificate, because I did the whole thing in 10 years,
Uh-huh.
there were times I was questioning myself why I was doing it,
Right.
because it took 10 years. See,
Yeah.
10 years later, then I
I
produced it.
see.
But I just felt there was nothing ever that stopped me, because I felt I needed to do it in order to have a documentation.
Right,
I
right.
never really stopped, because I just thought, I've gone this far, I have to finish it.
Of course, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then
Amazing.
I went on to also look at hats. I'm
Okay.
working on hats, accessories, because again, there's so many. So these are the men hats that just now
Mm-hmm.
you saw were for women. This is for
Right.
men. One kind of star, you fold it differently. It's used
Oh,
by all the different ethnics in Sabah. And it has a
wow.
different name just from the way it's folded, even though it's from the same kind, which is a kind of star, a woven kind, right, by the Bajau and Iranun.
Right.
The best part about what I do is I meet all these people in the kampong, and they open their door, they open their hearts to me. I think that was the best part of what I was doing, really.
Right.
I had this on my slide. One must care about a world one will never see, because it's important that everything that we do, we must remember about our children or our grandchildren, who will still be the ones carrying on living. And we
Mm-hmm.
must do good, even though we'll never see the results of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's very important.
Wow.
So different methods of documentation. Osta Johnson, these are rich people, and they were rich in the 1930s. They came to Sabah, took lots of photos of our villages, orang kampung,
Mm-hmm.
but that's their way of producing it. And
Right.
I think this is my last slide. So basically, the reason I'm doing this is because, as this lady
Mm-hmm.
said, and she said it without me even prompting her. She said, "Siapa lagi waris saya punya kerja, tiada lagi nama murut. Tradisi kita pun tiada." She was very aware that the craft was not just, it represented her whole ethnic group.
I see.
She knew that it represented her tradition, her tradisi. She knew that if nobody carried on what she was doing, she was making this sulaya, what she's wearing there.
Ah.
Um, she knew that not just the sulaya will be gone, it's like her whole Murut ethnic group will be gone. And she's absolutely right. Uh, when I met her, she was 88, but sadly she passed away, maybe 5 years later, after I met her. But I was very grateful, obviously, that I had the opportunity to be with her and talk to her, and we became friends for a while. She even gave me the headgear that she was wearing, so that was
Wow.
a very good memory, yeah, of her. Yeah, I think that was my last slide. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was it. Thank you so much. And may I know how many ethnic groups that has this similar basket? That kind of crafts
Every ethnic group have their
in
own
Sabah.
basket. Yeah, in Sabah.
I see.
If they live near the coast, nelayan, or if they do fishing, their craft is different. It's
Mm-hmm.
more loose.
I
But if
see.
they're in the paddy field, if they are people who are involved in agriculture, it's
Right.
slightly different, because the people in the agriculture, they have more time when they
Right.
wait for the padi to,
Okay.
like masak, right? So they tend to weave more ornate basket. But the ones in, I notice anyway, from the coastal side,
Mm-hmm.
their basket is very rough in terms
Right.
of, and not so ornate, because
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
always fishing, so they don't have much time. Yeah.
Okay, and where do they sell these baskets? Do they sell it like, you know, just in the market, or because I seldom see those beautiful baskets, sold in like even in a what do you call that shop outside, in
Yeah.
town, right? So
Well,
where do they sell it actually?
traditionally, most of them obviously just make it for their own use, right? They
Oh,
don't. They don't. They don't sell them, but usually they would sell amongst each other, because they still do now. The more popular ones are, like I said, the murut and lundaya, because the basket is
they
used for
have
wedding
colors,
gifts.
yeah.
So yeah, when there's a wedding, then somebody will tempah, like 20 or 50, and inside they will put like rice or garam or
Right,
gula, or sometimes kain or piring, even, like to
right.
fill it up. So the richer you are, the more basket you'll have.
I see.
So they will buy from a basket maker. But on a, like I said, normal basis, they just use it for themselves.
I
The
see.
ones who are able to make and sell, they sell normally obviously by the roadside,
Mm,
or sometimes the middleman would buy from them and sell in the shop.
I
But
see.
I noticed also the reason why we are not very aware of our own craft is because it's
Yeah.
sold in a shop, and in a shop usually it's sold with many other craft
Right,
from
right.
our
It's not
neighbors, like from
exclusive.
Indonesia, Vietnam,
Yeah,
Thailand.
yeah, yeah.
So we can never quite, we're not aware that some of them are ours. Uh, the only time I do see a lot of it is when there's a proper craft fair done by
Mm.
Kraftangan Malaysia or
Malaysian,
Kraftangan
no.
Sabah, and
Mm.
that's when they have, they do sell Sabahan craft, and they do distinguish them and label them
Right, right,
accordingly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, itulah. Tapi sayang, it's such a beautiful artwork. Like, okay, let's get back to our questions. I have a lot of questions to ask you, Jen.
Okay. Do
You're
we have
such
time?
an experienced lady. Okay, so you're basically from Sabah, right? Can you tell a bit of your background?
Yeah, I grew up in Sabah. I went to school in KK. I grew
Mm.
up in a bamboo house. I lived in a bamboo house when I was little in Keningau, and
Keningau.
also Pinampang up to the age of 7. So I'm very familiar with the life, because I remember sleeping on the rattan floor, and I could hear the sounds of buangput,
Ah.
frog, toad, or
Mhm.
snake. Um, and after that, um, I I was lucky enough to get a scholarship. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be an art teacher. I put the teacher at the end just to make it sound a bit more serious. But my father said, no, you should try doing something. Like, he was the one who encouraged me to do architecture.
Wow.
But unfortunately, my father died when I was 18, just when I was doing my Form 6 exam,
I
my
see.
STPM. And so I, for some reason, I think I got more studious, because I suddenly realized, hang on, dad's not around. So I, with my result for Form 6, I got a scholarship. I still wonder how I get it now, but I did get it. And then I studied in England. I did my architectural qualifications in England. And because by that time there was only my mom, who at the time was not working but started working, because after my father passed away.
Mhm.
I guess I worked hard, but I loved what I was doing. I love architecture. I love the idea of learning science and art, which is what
Right.
architecture is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, you have to
Right.
understand social. In order for you to design a building, you must know about the life of the people.
Right. Right.
So how they conduct it, or how the building will be used. So that part I really like. So what's that? It's anthropology or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Anthropology.
Ethnography. Yeah, so I really like that. But then I worked as an architect in London, in Brunei, but decided to come back to Sabah, where I only taught architecture. I didn't want to go into the commercial line. Um, and then I went more into arts. So that's how I got involved with Persatuan Seni Visual
I see.
Sabah. And then I did more exhibition. I got more involved. And then somehow the job at the art gallery came about,
Okay.
and I applied for it. That time, the founder was Datuk Yaman, and he was the director of the gallery. So I
Oh.
took over, and unfortunately, 1 year after I joined, he
Mhm.
got sick. So I then took over and then headed the gallery after that
For 12 years, yeah?
for 12 years. Yeah, 12 wonderful years. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So, as someone with artistic talent, who is your greatest creative inspiration?
Hmm, actually, I think my greatest creative inspiration are the craft makers, the artisans, because every time I see what they do,
Mhm.
I just think it's almost like they are not aware of it, and they just,
Right.
like I said, they make basket, they dye the bamboo, they make, and
Mhm.
then they start from the bottom, right? They always start from the bottom, right? They always start from the bottom, and then they work up. But when they work up, first the shape is whatever shape it is that they do, then it's different patterns. So I asked him, so how do you know what the patterns are? And he said, Habis saya mau buat itu. But how do they calculate, right?
Right, right.
The black, and because even when I have to count, even to draw, I
Mhm.
can never draw it right, and yet I'm only drawing. I can erase it, right? But they have to weave it.
Right.
So the mathematical calculations they have to do in their head,
Mhm.
and in terms of making the pattern, and don't forget, not only do they have to make the pattern, they have to make the pattern neat or
Right.
look seamless, right?
Yeah.
Because you go around. I still cannot understand how that. I still need time to actually sit with a weaver and literally look at what she's doing the whole time and try and do it myself. Then I think I will finally get it.
Uh,
'Cause nothing is written. Remember, nothing is
yeah,
written.
yeah, of course.
It's everything
It's
from
just
their head.
imagination. Right.
Exactly, exactly.
And do you do any weaving before? Like, do you weave your own basket?
No. A few people have asked me that now, so I think it's
You should,
time I
right?
should, because
Yeah.
I do the
Yeah.
documentation. I can draw, I
Right.
can count and draw, but
Right.
I have not yet tried making.
Right.
But I
You
would love to
should.
try. Yes,
Yeah, I'll
it's time
be
consuming. It
right.
really
I
is.
know
So yeah,
you're a busy woman, but I think you should do it. You know.
yes,
And
I should. You're right, Andy.
talking about this book, The Kampung Legacy, a journal of North Borneo's traditional basket. What actually inspired you to to document all this basket? Besides, like the craft makers,
It wasn't planned. I came back to KK, to Sabah, and I was just doing sketching, because I just normally would just sketch, and then I was sketching, and then as I was sketching, so I was visiting Long Pasir, so I was just sketching, and I was talking to the lady, and then I said, oh, so wow, what a wonderful skill. And I said, can your daughters do it? They go, no. Sons, no. Grandchildren, no. So then I asked another lady, asked another, and it's the same story.
see.
Out of maybe 100 people I met more than 100. Maybe only less than 10 had their children doing the same thing.
I
So
see.
that's when I knew that something has to be done to document them, and nobody has documented the Sabah baskets
Mhm.
comprehensively, like what I've done now. I realize now that what I've documented is basically the most comprehensive for Sabah anyway.
Right. So you took 10 years to to document this book, right? And that was 3 years after you came back from UK. So that was
No, that was 20 years after I came back from. Well,
oh,
I was in the UK for 8 years, and then in Brunei for 12.
okay.
Then I came back
All right, right.
to Sabah.
Sabah. I
Yeah.
see. Wow. Okay. And can you like we've seen how you did the research process and what challenges that you faced during the process. documenting it. I know, besides being the art director, like
Yeah.
easy, right? Yeah.
It got a bit hectic, obviously, once I started when I was a part-time lecturer. I was still teaching architecture at one point, so that made it easy. So between when I was not teaching or during semester break, I had longer time to do my research. But
Mm-hmm.
when I was, but then when I started working with the art gallery, because the whole process took 10 years, right?
Right.
It took longer because I was already working. So yeah, sometimes it was quite crazy. My family sometimes don't know where I am. I would just go off if I know a group going, because you were asking what challenges. It was all self-funded, i.e., I didn't get any funding outside. I was just going with what I have, and then also because being a woman, it's harder. You go on your own. But again, like I said, the Kampong people were just the most wonderful people. They're so open and so willing to invite you in. They feed you, even if they don't know they're gonna get paid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was very blessed to meet all the people, and that's why I was even more determined to make sure their story is heard.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's also another thing that I would always like to remind people. Don't wait, because because people always say, oh, I wasn't given this grant, so I couldn't do this, I didn't get that, and they blame. Sometimes, I mean, of course, sometimes you need grants to do big things, but
Yeah.
you don't need to wait to start it. You can
Yeah.
start it if you feel strongly about something. You start, and then you will get people to support you, especially if what you're doing is not for you
Right.
yourself, right?
Right.
If people know that you're doing something for a greater good, then they will come and help you. So
Right.
you just start, don't wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me of our dear Mr. President Nick, who started this Malaysian Craft Council for the greater good. Okay. Let's take a short break. Let's check out this video. Handicrafts in Sabah. Let's check it out.
Squad flower. She said the tapestry products, usually the choice fabric for weddings, wall decor or table furnishing, could take weavers several days to complete by hand just a few meters. To create the leaf origami, pandan and coconut leaves are first processed and then turned into flexible straws and woven into hats, food wrappers, mats, baskets and other household items. The ideal basket for fishing is made from bamboo. It is also from beautiful sarongs bearing breathtaking batik motifs, elaborate murut headhunters blowpipes, precision bajau parangs, unique coconut-shaped handbags to intricate tapestry designs, Sabah has plenty to offer to the world. Home to 42 ethnic groups and 200 sub-ethnic groups, Sabah's amazing diversity has created a blend of arts and crafts that is truly unique. These products are now finding a world market online, and it's fast becoming a multi-million ringgit industry. In a recent working visit organised by Malaysia Convention and Exhibition Bureau, Tourism Minister Nancy Shukri said foreigners were snapping up Sabah craft work online. Noting that the demand has created a need for more local craft entrepreneurs, she said her ministry is offering certificate and diploma level programs to Sabah youths wishing to take up the trade. Let's take a look at some of the Sabah crafts that are in demand today. Sabahans take pride in creating various locally inspired tapestry designs such as dastar, muga, ampik, pis and sambitan. Tapestry weaver Hasila Siratirao Handa told FMT that the ideas for such designs, which are based on flora and fauna in Sabah's indigenous ecosystem, are reflected in the floral motifs like the lotus flower, cotton flower and wax cord flower. She said the tapestry products, usually the choice fabric for weddings, wall decor or table furnishing, could take weavers several days to complete by hand just a few meters. To create the leaf origami, pandan and coconut leaves are first processed and then turned into flexible straws and woven into hats, food wrappers, mats, baskets and other household items. The ideal basket for fishing is made from bamboo. It is also used to make musical instruments, mats, storage chests and trays. A prized craft, Sabah offers pencil cases, hats, wooden boxes and handbags made from their tree bark. You can even find tree bark jackets and hats mostly during wedding ceremonies. Rattan, an easily available commodity in Borneo, is a favorite material used for weaving in Sabah. All the different ethnic groups use rattan in producing bags, traditional hats, baskets and mats, among others. Women who are skilled in beadwork, the traditional handicraft of Borneo, design varying patterns, colours and motifs to indicate their social status and identity. Most of the designs are inspired by nature. Sabahan's batik patterns, which are inspired by nature, showcase leaves, geometric patterns, animals and flowers. Tunduang, a food cover in bright colours of yellow, pink and blue, is mostly made using dried serdang leaves which resemble those of palms found in swampy areas. It takes anywhere between 1 to 3 days to complete one tinduang. Brass and bronze are traditionally used by Sabahans to produce other forms of metal craft, such as jewellery, sculptures, utensils and musical instruments which are in high demand. If you want a small piece of Sabah to wear or have as memorabilia, do check out the diverse range of handcrafted products that are available on the Tourism Ministry's e-Bazaar site at www.mycraftshop.com.
Okay, Jan. Okay, let's get back to our more questions to ask. But let's get to this Haslan Nalza from Facebook. He's actually watching, and he asks, apologies for my ignorance, but would this practice be similar to the people in Kalimantan? I think he's referring to the basket, I think.
Yes, if he's talking about the practice of material culture, yeah, we're very obviously similar. Borders don't really exist. It's just a political border. And physically, we don't. So that's why there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the same. But I do notice that from Kalimantan, as you go down south, for some reason, the skill gets finer. I don't know what it is, but I think it could also be it's just baskets that you get. When I see a basket that's very, very fine, I know immediately it's not from North Borneo. It'll either be more towards Sarawak or Kalimantan. So it's almost like as you get more south, the work, for some reason gets more, very fine and complicated.
Right.
People have a longer tradition. I'm not.
Yeah. Have you been to Kalimantan before and see how did they do the?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I would like to do.
Another chapter.
Yes, that's another that's another book.
Another book.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on the video we watched just now, we've seen a lot of handicrafts made in Sabah, right? So
Right.
so beautiful. We have such rich culture in Sabah, and I hope that these handicrafts are made available online. I can see that, and I'm gonna buy it later. Okay, so let's get back to the okay, my next question, right? Okay, as the director of Sabah Art Gallery for 12 years, what kind of improvements did you see throughout the years in Sabah? And what kind of programs did you organize in order to help develop the craft artisan in Sabah? And how was the engagement and the participation of the artisan itself?
There was a lot of community engagement. The one thing that I believe when we were there was we tried not to make art too middle class and up, as
Right, yeah.
traditionally it's always for the middle class and elite who would, be in the art gallery, and we open up to local artists. We had 4 annual exhibitions, and one of them is Bakat Baru, which is
Right.
new talent. So that one, people always ask me, but I'm not very, I only started drawing. I said, well, what age do you take? I say we take age from 0 to 100 or 1 to 100, because as long as you are interested in drawing or being creative, we open the doors for you. It's just to encourage people to produce, more creative work. We even had, for Bakat Baru, we had women who were in their 70s who just started taking art, and they
Wow.
also exhibited. So it's such a wonderful thing. We also work with different organizations: Japan Foundation, U.S. Embassy, uh, British High Com. We also had different events outside of just art exhibition. We have music performances, master classes. We even had a Korean opera master class at the gallery itself. So the gallery was not just an art exhibition space; it was also a creative venue, right? So we had classical music. We worked closely with Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra, which is a community orchestra, which we do a lot of outreach programs. We even once worked with Rally International. Rally International is an international organization that would go to different villages, remote villages, and they would do more like building or community work with them. But we got them involved in art exhibition where they put the artwork on a tree. Anyway, if they had a balai raya, they had a hall, just exhibit so that the people can see what art is about in their remote kampong. So it was slowly trying to make art more accessible to everyone, people who view it and the people who saw it. So people will not just see art as as I said, it's not just an elitist sort of thing. And so people are more open. And also we sell all the artwork that's exhibited at the gallery, even though, because some national gallery, they don't sell artworks that are exhibited in the gallery. But we do. We sell so that we can help the artists sell their work.
Right. Okay, so that is Sabah, but can you share what is your impression on Sarawak handicrafts, and how does it differ from Sabah crafts?
From what I see, funnily, when I go to Sarawak, they'll say, "Oh, Sabah is wonderful," but in Sabah we say, "Oh, Sarawak's wonderful." So in a way, I think we are equally both strong in our handicraft or
Right.
handcrafted skills. But I feel in Sarawak there are bigger, better organizations that represent the artisans, where Sabah we don't have.
I see.
Don't have enough. Well, of course, we have the government body, but we don't have a
An
private
NGO?
council. An NGO that represents craft. Artisans in Sabah. So that's something that we can work on to strengthen the
Right.
representation of artisans.
Yeah.
Because a lot of artisans, as you know, they are not good at promoting themselves or how to present their idea or how to package their work. So that's the thing that we are working on, but I've met some wonderful people in KL when I now I'm based a lot in KL as well. People like Nani Kahar, who is involved with community creative people. She's an architect, but she's also she's also pushing artisans as well. Joe Sidik, you are in
Yeah.
Penang, and you know Joe. Joe is in Penang. He's also, I mean, Joe is also a festival guy. So he does stuff that will draw crowd. So you need people like that. There's also another lady, Elizabeth Cardoza, if you know Elizabeth. These are the few people that I know who have strong ideas as to how we can promote our heritage, and for the artisans.
Right.
And I'm very grateful to them, for their insights, because they are from the mainland, Semenanjung.
Yeah,
They
right.
have they have a bigger picture. Whereas we in Sabah Sarawak, I think we're a little bit isolated in some ways. So with them also promoting it, I think it's good, because obviously we all have to work together.
Right. And how do you think that, what kind of strategy that will actually help the Malaysian artisan to penetrate globally? Like besides online shopping.
Yeah, online shopping. I suddenly had this thought. Online shopping obviously is good, but it's never the same. Obviously, as you see something physical, because for some reason, when I think of the online shopping, right, when they put a like basket, it's like with a blank background.
Right.
You usually may have to make it a blank background because you want to show the craft itself, but
Yeah.
doing that, I feel the craft is put out of context. So for some reason, you don't have that, but of course, this is just the way I mean, again, we've done the non-online thing, which is physical thing. So, but I think physical is still the best thing, because you see in context to a lot of things. You never really hold something on its own anyway, in isolation to it, because everything that you have, it's always in relation to everything else. The baju that you wear, it'll always be in relation to the colors in the background. So I find online shopping a little bit, it takes away the soul of the product, right? The craft, it takes away that soul. But if you're good at, if you understand, then you can like it. But if you don't understand, then you might just see isolation. No, not interested. You know what I mean? And the storytelling is important.
Right.
Yeah, storytelling is key to how we promote our craft.
Okay. Cool. And I would like to share another video. Okay, no video. Okay, let's get back to okay, I have one question from Haslan Nauza, the same person. Okay, I think it links back to the first question that he asked, which brings to the second question: how do we ensure that our craft stands out and perhaps prosper once Nusantara will be the capital of Indonesia in Kalimantan? Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a big question. Yeah, that's well, we'll just have to. Oh, who knows? With now, if once Nusantara, if that well, when that happens, and there'll be more closer relationship. There'll be, so maybe the craft, our artisans can learn as well. But our artisans will also have to, find ways of improving their craft. But of course, they can only do what they know. And I think it's the responsibility of people like you and I, people who are aware with the Malaysian Craft Council. It's a case of trying to bring people together. I'm working with pairing designers with artisans, young designers and artisans, so we can bring fresh ideas to heritage skill. Of course, you still work with traditional skills, and you can keep making traditional craft, because that's important. But at the same time, in order for us to move another step forward, is to then create new stuff. And the reason you do that is to just create more interest for the younger generation,
Right.
for you, people like you and your children, your grandchildren. Because if you maintain just everything traditional, only some people will appreciate it, but maybe the young won't. So you have to make it relevant.
Yeah, make it maybe a little bit
Make it hit.
contemporary. Yeah, make it
Yeah,
hip.
make it hit.
like
Yeah.
like this. I'm actually wearing a necklace from, I think, Pogun Sabat. If you
Oh,
know
what's
Pogun
that?
Sabat. Yeah, and
Is it
also,
metal?
huh?
Is it
Sabah.
metal?
Yeah,
Oh, beautiful.
right.
Oh, beautiful. Who made that?
Pogun Sabat.
Ogun Sabat is a designer, one
It's a
person.
designer. It's a one person. Yeah.
What's her name?
Lupa sudah.
Ogun Sabat, for everyone who
Yeah,
don't
tapi
understand, it means
yeah,
high.
orang keke lah dia. But I really love his work. Also Sang Tukang.
Oh, yes, Sang Tukang. I've got this.
Very.
From
Oh,
Jessie
that's from
Balbi.
Sang Tukang. Nice.
No, this is
Can
Jessie
you tell
Balbi.
a little bit closer?
Yeah, it's Jessie Balbi, who is Sang Tukang's apprentice, I've heard.
Wow.
So the beautiful work that she does. So she's coming to KL for 2 days. So it's people like this. You see, like Jessie, she was not aware of her skill. She was not aware of how amazing she was and how creative she was. But slowly, slowly, we had a KL weekend event happening recently. We had it in November, end of November 2020. Nani Kahar and Joe Siddiq were involved in that, and that is very important when you bring something like that together. And and then Jessie came. It was a 2-day event. Within 1 day, all her stuff was sold.
Wow, amazing.
So that shows, yeah. There were other crafters as well. There was Emily Janibal, who also makes like what I carry.
Wow, right.
I wrap my rattan rucksack from Emily. There a few more. There was a Murut lady who Rasma. She makes Murut beads. But it's just how you sell it, what story you tell, how you package it. The better we are at it, the more people will be able to appreciate.
Right. So, Mr. President, how's job? Yeah, Nick.
President.
So we have a big opportunity to collaborate with artisans from Sabah. For sure, they're gonna love it as well. Okay, so next one, I think we are actually running out of time, but I have 2 more questions. Can you share an example of when you established and accomplished a goal that was personally challenging, and what helped you succeed? This is a bit more personal.
Well, I guess in the end, I didn't plan for. I never thought that the book. I mean, the important thing for me was to make sure that the book was available to. Actually, it was more for the artisans and the people who are selling, because I wanted them to, when they sell, they should know what they're selling. Because I've gone to shops and I say, "What's the name of this basket?" They don't know.
Right.
So that's why the book is quite small. But I noticed now that I'm in Semenanjung, that a lot of people are very interested in how I did it. How I did it. So now I've even got Sarawak also asked me, "Can you do Sarawak baskets?" And I said, "Well, somebody have to give me all the information. I'll just draw. I can't take another 10 years." and I'm also trying to work closely with the indigenous community in Semenanjung, the Mahmeri.
Yeah.
I love this. I must admit, I think I go crazy when I see anything woven. So that's where I feel when my heart beats fast. So I know that's where I should maybe do another book, but that's maybe after what I'm doing right now, which is documenting buildings in Bonton, Langkawi. So, yeah, I never really stopped to think about, I did this. It's just, okay, done this. What's next? Because anything is only as good as what you're doing now.
Right.
It's not what you did before, right? So, yeah. So,
all right. Okay, thank you for that. And the last questions. What are your advice to the artisan out there that are just starting up but has a vision to develop their crafts to a bigger market, especially in this time of pandemic?
what I would tell them is they have to look at what they've done before. Has it been good? And if it's not, find out why. And look at people who are doing the same thing as you are and find out why they are successful. You must do your homework. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and then complain the government is not doing enough for you.
Right.
So that is something all artisans, tanya diri sendiri, progress diri sendiri. You have to check your progress. And bandingkan dengan orang yang lebih maju. Kenapa mereka lebih maju? What are they doing differently from you? Orang yang maju dan orang tidak maju ada beza.
Betul.
Find out what it is. If you tidak maju, ada yang maju, find out apa yang mereka buat. Right? That's for artisan sendiri.
Yeah.
For the non-artisan, I added to your question.
Yeah.
For non-artisan, which is like us, who don't make these things, people always ask me, oh, I love what you're doing and it's wonderful. But I tell them, I said, yeah, you have a lot of, we make forums and all this, right? But it's no point just talking about it.
Right.
Right? Talking about it will not do anything. This is my advice to everyone, the non-craft makers themselves. Ask yourself every day, or ask yourself every now and then, what are you doing to promote your own culture? What are you listening to your own traditional music? Are you wearing everything I have around me is always Patpat because I love them, I guess. But
nice.
What are you doing to promote your own culture so that it can be a talking point, right? When I meet people always ask me about the galang,
right?
People ask me about this bamboo. This is bamboo.
Yeah.
It'll spark a whole conversation about my culture, my background.
Right.
So you have to think too, what are you doing? Because if you are giving gifts at Christmas, what hamper basket are you using? Are you buying the one from China, or are you buying from your own, the craft people who are making? So that's important, right? So that's how we each can do. Or you do research,
right?
Or you wear traditional baju. Not everything, just elements of like what you're using, right? That way you are, in a way, so that you are proud of your culture, because that's very important. If you're not careful, because this is what I think, if you're not careful, then you will just ikut, dengan arus. Whatever's popular. If Korea is popular now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Korea. They are amazing. Yeah. But if you keep following them, you will forget your background, and soon you will not know what is your
root.
Your base belongs to that, right?
Yeah.
And the third group of people that I would like to address, obviously the artisans, us, and then the third group are the people who want to go into craft entrepreneurship, or they want to be craft business person, and they buy from the craftsmen. What I'm telling them is, do not ask for discount, because if they keep asking for discount, they will then kill the people who is helping them make money. Right. You go, because the artisans themselves already, they don't know how to charge, right?
Right.
I buy something, 30 ringgit.
Yeah, they don't know how to value.
It's too cheap, really, for a handcrafted item. So sometimes I tell them, you can't sell it for 30 ringgit. Right. You have, if you go to a doctor, you spend 5 minutes with the doctor, you already spend maybe 30, 50 ringgit just consultation. Yeah. Itu belum lagi ubat, right? That's because the doctor took 10 years or 15 years to get their qualification. But I said, you guys have 10 or 40 years or 50 years of learning to learn your skill. So they should charge even more because they spend a long time making it. So that's what I always remind craft entrepreneurs, people who are selling craft. Don't undersell. Make sure you give back. If you earn 100 ringgit from a craft, make sure at least 70 ringgit goes back to the craft. You make 30% lah. Yeah. If you do that, you can be sure that more crafters will come on, because the children will follow. They will want to they know they can make business making craft. If you keep asking for a low price, you keep asking for discount, the children will not follow that tradition because it's too, you potong bambu, naik bukit, potong bambu, bamboo, you have to hiris, you have to
betul.
cat, you have to anyam, then you sell 30 ringgit or 50 ringgit. Cannot, and that the tradition will die. They will go to the city, they will work in hotels, they will work in offices, whatever. And then we'll lose that. And then the people who want to make craft as their business will not have anything to sell. You see?
Right. Wow, wow, great advice, Jen. Saya sangat. Actually, it reminds me of I was once went to my friend's house in Kota Bulut, and actually his mother makes this basket tu lah, and then she sold it for like very very cheap price. So I was like so macam like kesian lah, because I don't think they know how to put the price on the product, padahal we value it so much. Like we hope that nobody take advantage of them lah. Thank you so much, Jen.
Yes.
I think do you have anything more to say, because we are actually running out of time, but let me check who have questions from Facebook. Okay, if you have any questions, please write down in the comment below. Okay.
Maybe I would just would like to add,
Yes, please.
because this is organized by the Malaysian Craft Council, and I believe the Malaysian Craft Council, Nick, started this from Kelantan. I believe Kelantan has the same struggle as the Borneo artisans.
Right.
So because Kelantan have got tremendous amount of talent, and I think they go much further back in history. So we need to also work hard to keep the tradition alive, because there are a lot more variety of craft in Kelantan. But that's another talk show, obviously.
That's another talk show, obviously.
Yes. Pressure on him.
Okay, do we have more questions? Kejap ah. Okay. This is pembangunan pendigitalan dan pelancongan budaya LKNS. Is that what you asked before? Oh, dia kata hadir. Bahagian pembangunan pendigitalan dan pelancongan budaya negeri Sabah hadir.
Wow.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
That's my family dulu, Lembaga
Oh,
Tebet.
really? Nice. Okay, again from Hazlan. How can we get the book? Yeah, this is your time to promote, Jen.
You can get it from the Sabah Art Gallery.
Okay.
Is Azlan from? Where's Azlan from?
Where are you from, Hazlan? Can we buy it online?
Yes. I think it's yes. I think somebody found it in Shopee.
Oh,
I think it's been sold by the Sabah Tourism Board via Shopee, I think. So try. If not, then if Azlan leaves his name with you, then I can. A few places are selling it actually, in KL as well as in Sabah. It's Sabah Art Gallery.
Sabah Art Gallery.
Have it, yeah. But if you give your name and address, we can deliver it to you.
Okay, Hazlan, dengar tak?
Thank you, Azlan.
From Putrajaya, dia kata.
Oh, Putrajaya. Okay.
Hazlan,
You can get it, from Garimis, which is in GMBB.
GMBB.
Or Ilham Gallery.
Okay. Yes. All right. Okay, what a great session today, Jen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so honored to have you tonight and just be the moderator, listening to your talk. It's really inspiring, and for me myself as a craft lover, what I can do is just buy if I see them. But jarang sekarang balik Sabah kan, telah tak jumpa sudah. So, and you have any last words to say?
Yeah, just wear any craft, as long as it's made by a local, wherever you are, right? Yeah. You should just keep promoting it. I'm now in Bonton, Langkawi. I'm actually documenting Malay traditional house. That again is also another wonderful challenge.
Architecture.
Yeah, it'll be in the Kampung Legacy series.
Nice.
It wasn't planned, but again, that's something that needs to be documented. There has been some, documentation on traditional houses, Malay traditional houses, but maybe a bit dry because it's too technical. So I'm trying to make it more like my previous book, hopefully with more drawings. So that again can be a source of reference, so people can use the designs to do for interior, for architecture, because I noticed that that's something that is missing in our country. A lot of our new buildings are not having a lot of reference to our culture.
Right.
You could, like some shots when you take a photo of wherever you are, you could be anywhere, you could be Singapore, Bangkok, you won't know it. So I hope architects will be more, and designers will use a lot more of our cultural, will use culture as a reference for their design.
So you're covering the whole Malay houses in Malaysia?
For now, it's Kedah, Langkawi, Kedah, Terengganu, because that's where I know. But I've been told Negeri Sembilan also has. So I hope it will not be a 10-year endeavor.
You need a team.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm doing it on my own. I'm trying to make it just 1 year this year.
Okay.
Because I started it already, so I might as well do it, which is what I've done before. So I will not take 10 years. I'll do it less than that.
Right. Good luck with that, Jan.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
as with for me, thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Jan. And we are gonna have more Golden Exchange Hour organized by Malaysian Craft Council, and today is about Malaysian Borneo. Maybe so we are doing it twice in a month. So next month will be, I think, Arjali with another panel. And so thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful evening hearing the talk by Jan, and semoga bermanfaat untuk semua orang. And with that, thank you so much and have a good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, and